If you ever hear in a cemetery and hear, oh, it's probably not an owl. It's probably Paul Bearer somewhere.
Who's back from the dead.
Who's back from the dead, yes. Just going, oh, my Undertaker.
Or you should run because it's some weirdo. Again, in terms of cage matches,
it's best
and
cage
heightened
match,
and a heightened drama.
Yeah.
Like, even by today's standards, you could get away with this level of drama.
Yes. You know when a referee's counting a pin and the wrestlers are going...
You mentioned this before, yeah.
And watching the ref. Well, Diesel does it, man. Diesel does it. Aight.
Hello, dear wrestling fans. How are you today? My name is Dom.
And I am Ant.
And we are at the biggest party of the summer in 1994.
You sound like one of them old radio presenters.
I am an old radio presenter, Anthony.
Why are you doing that voice today?
I don't know. I feel like some tea and crumpets, old boy.
Brilliant. Okay, so
Indeed.
SummerSlam.
Quite.
1994.
I might try and keep this up the whole episode.
I doubt it's going to last.
Probably. I'll keep it going for as long as I possibly can.
August the 29th, 1994. UK #1 film, Dom.
What were you doing in 1994?
I was watching the UK #1 film.
What's the UK #1 film?
The Mask.
I love The Mask.
That's
It's
a cool
one of my
film,
favourite.
man.
It's still one of my favourite films of all time.
That's a cool film. And the #1 single in the UK was Wet, Wet, Wet Still with Love Is All Around.
Love is all
fingers.
I feel it in my toes.
That was in the charts for like 15 weeks.
Yeah, man,
dude.
a cracking tune,
It's
man.
awful.
It's a banger.
It's awful.
It's a banger.
There was good music out in the 90s. Ellie Manson, man.
There was some cracking music out in the 90s.
Nine Inch Nails.
You can't go wrong with a good bit of 90s pop. 90s
You would rather listen to Wet, Wet, Wet than Nine Inch Nails.
You know, Busted.
I think this is too early for Busted, man.
Oh yeah.
I'd say so.
2000s, yeah, no, 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh no, they had that song, didn't they? Was it Wake Me Up in the Year 2000? something. Somebody's grandma.
It's a really rubbish song,
Someone's
innit?
grandma. I know.
Someone's grandma.
I interviewed them once. They're actually nice, but they're actually
imagine
nice
they are.
lads.
I
Yeah,
imagine
they're
they are,
alright.
yeah. Didn't produce any good music though.
Busted, I did. Yeah, with the McFly Busted amalgamation.
Conglomeration.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like when the Fly, like the film. You know when.
Jeff Goldblum mixed with the fly, mated with the fly.
Basically the same thing. I've still never watched that film.
It's awesome, dude.
People keep telling me
he didn't actually mate with a fly. Chicago, Illinois, Pomp and Circumstance.
Chicago.
You like Chicago, don't you?
Do you like Chicago?
Pomp and Circumstance starts playing.
What was that?
Pomp and Circumstance. I was still on my last.
You have a moment.
I'll have moments all the way through this. I have no doubt. Macho Man, the hype man, comes out.
He is the hype.
Says hello to Bulldog sat on the aisle. Get ready for SummerSlam. Oh yeah, go yeah. This was Macho Man's last ever WWE pay-per-view appearance.
Make a fact.
By November in 1994, he had signed with WCW, and so that's 2-3 months after this. So,
I don't think he never resurfaced. I think he resurfaced to do some talk, like he talked, didn't he, on a few documentaries? But I think that was
I think like, because he came back for the video game promo, which was WWF All Stars, and he's done a really good promo with that. But I think that was it.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he commented on a few, on a few of the like DVD type things. Yeah,
maybe so, but I don't know. I didn't think he was. I know that he did a couple of house shows after this. I think his last match might have been in Germany or something like that.
There we go.
Anyway, there we go. Macho Man. We've loved Macho Man, haven't we?
We have.
Going back and watching him, we've got a massive respect for Macho Man.
It almost makes you want to do from WCW from start to finish, doesn't it?
Yeah. No. Too much work, man. Too much work. Commentators for this show is Vince McMahon and Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry explains that last night the Head Shrinkers lost the tag team titles to Diesel and Shawn Michaels. So Diesel is the Intercontinental Champion and now tag team champions.
And the titles are not. There's still match. This match is still happening, but the titles aren't on the line. It's really weird.
It's
very strange.
I think the original plan was to put the titles on IRS and Bam Bam to help give DiBiase that rub, because DiBiase
Yeah.
was a big part of this pay-per-view.
He was in like most of the matches. In
It's
some
3
form.
matches. He's like
Yeah.
a part of it. It's like early Jimmy Hart stuff. Do you remember that WrestleMania where
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah,
Hart
yeah,
was
yeah.
like in like
Everything.
every match? Yeah. So that was $1 Million Man at this point. So into the first match was IRS versus and Bam Bam with Ted DiBiase versus the Head Shrinkers with Lou Albano and Afa. So again, the tag team titles are on the line here.
Yep.
I think it would have done well to give them to IRS. And
Yeah,
Bam Bam.
I think so. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? It's kind of criminal that a guy like IRS and Bam Bam never really achieved title success. But then
No.
you've made the comment before, as you are wont to often do. Like, that was not a credible sentence.
Simply not English.
It was simply not English. What a muppet. Anyway, you make the point quite regularly that some people do not need the titles. Or any titles. Do you believe IRS is one of those people?
I don't think IRS deserved a title, if I'm honest.
Except for
Bam Bam, yes.
What would
Maybe
you have
not
given him?
IRS. Intercontinental Championship or Heavyweight Championship.
he did well in ECW.
He did, yeah. And Bam Bam, he headlined WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, it's the next WrestleMania 11.
Yeah, I mean, that was bloody terrible. But
It is absolutely awful. But, a guy that headlines WrestleMania. So, head shrinkers look really special. They come down with headdresses on, Samoan crowns almost, taking it up a level. This is, again, probably because this was supposed to have been a title match. And the night before, Diesel and Shawn Michaels took it.
I think it was confused in terms of, they brought it up at the start of the broadcast, whatever. But, it was actually one of the better showings I've seen for IRS in a while. I thought
It was a good match in general.
And Bam Bam was okay. Bam Bam was okay.
Bam Bam was always
I mean,
good.
I really rate the head shrinkers as enhancement. Like, as they do enhance a match. I know you're not a huge fan.
I didn't see why. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with them as champions at the time, though. Mind you, the tag team division is so weird.
They were perfect 90s foil champions.
I actually think Michaels and Diesel would make a really great tag team.
Yeah,
really lifted them belts. But then it's a shame that they're not. It's not brought into this a bit more.
It's a bit like having, this time. This was one of those times. A bit like how you have Edge and Hulk Hogan be champions. It was almost like you couldn't keep that going for too long because they weren't tag team wrestlers. They weren't great. Do you know what I mean?
But they've been together for like a year now as well.
Yeah, it happened a few times. Kofi Kingston and CM Punk did it. You know what I mean? Guys that are meant. They do it occasionally to boost ratings. They have 2 top stars teamed together.
Yeah. They do it with Jericho all the time. Jericho, Kevin Owens, Jericho, Big Show, whoever.
Just to and they win the tag titles to bring some ratings. And I think this was like an early sort of nod to that. Very recurring thing. I think the last time.
I'm trying to think if we've seen it in these pay-per-views prior. Not
really. With two top stars that should be at the top.
Singles, no. So Bam Bam and Fatu start off in the ring. Fatu delivers the awesome back thrust kick. I really like that. They do that
for
amazing.
Years as well. Yeah,
it's
it was
great.
Really good.
It's great. As McMahon translates Afa, he says that Domino's delivers. Is what Afa's just said in his gibberish. Domino's delivers. It was a nod to Domino's. They did it a couple of times in this pay-per-view. So Domino's had sponsored the event. And it actually gets quite interesting because Domino's were able to send out on the pizza boxes the image of the 2 Undertakers as a versus on the Domino's box.
I think I saw that somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it was... I saw some memorabilia or something, and I thought that was really weird.
Well, the really weird thing about it is that they'd put these on the boxes before the match was announced. So when fake Undertaker came back, as we'll get into sort of later on, the Underfaker. He was the legitimate. He was supposed to. Dead DiBiase was selling him as a legitimate Undertaker. He wasn't. And it was all this story of Paul Bearer was going to bring back the Undertaker. It was before he was actually brought back. The pizza boxes were telling everyone that he is coming back.
It was weird, man. I mean, it was as a fan at this time, just kind of getting into wrestling as I was. You get excited because you believe, but you wonder why. I remember wondering why he'd aligned himself with PPV Debuts.
Yeah,
But I believed
yeah.
it. I believed it because as a kid, you don't think like we
It's
do
one of
now.
it's another.
We don't have that cynical,
Yeah, it's
thing.
another one of these matches, the later match, and we'll talk about it when we get into it. But it's one of these that you really love as a kid, and you've got fond memories of.
Definitely.
And you watch it back, and it's appalling.
A lot of these times, you and I are going to watch stuff, and we're going to be like, I mean, maybe it's going to happen for us in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, probably.
This
There was a lot of rubbish.
This magical era that we both look back on with such fondness
is just absolute garbage.
We're going to be like.
We will. I'm sure we will.
Gold dusted. What with a? We'll get there. We'll get there.
Bam Bam pulls down the rope as Fatu is running into sending him outside of the ring before colliding in his head with IRS's briefcase. A nice bit of heel work there. Samu gets a head drop onto IRS, but IRS barely reacts. I've got real problems with IRS's selling in this match. It's sort of the weakest point. Samu and Fatu get IRS into a double team move, which seems like it was a finisher.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they've become tag team champions and the faces, and they've got this sort of finisher thing.
Yeah,
they've
got a couple. They've got a couple of options, and it's like some really high flying, high impact stuff. That you think,
headbutts,
that you think would like
back thrusts kiss. Yeah,
I mean, like I say, when I was growing up watching it, I remember thinking, man, those guys just might. I think that was part of their gimmick, was like they had these heads that were indestructible.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was, yeah.
And I took it really seriously back in the day.
I bet you did.
It's like,
did you train your head to be as?
I did jump off the bed a few times.
Did you?
Like, yeah, to do high spots.
And you have ended up like this.
Better than you, mate.
I knocked out way too many brain cells in our childhood.
I definitely hit the floor a few times, bit hard. Like I tried to do front moonsaults, like the 1, 2, 3 kid.
Did you really?
Off my bed, and I got my mate. I used to play wrestling. We used to have Royal Rumbles with my mates.
How many was there?
And we had like 4 or 5 of us. It was weird. We
Did you do the countdown and everything?
Yeah, we did.
Right,
Everything was great. And I remember getting, I was putting Boston crabs, and I used to do front flips from my bed on top of. But I never got to do an actual front flip because I couldn't do it.
You just sort of jumped up and flopped.
I flopped. I managed to flop usually half onto people.
So you flop with style.
Yeah, but like this was before, don't try this. Well, I'm pretty sure it was there, but I probably ignored it, and I was just like trying to do.
Dude, when the Attitude Era was, we ignored it anyway, man. I mean,
I remember I had old gimmick.
Chokeslams in the playground.
Chokeslams in the playground. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a thing,
tombstones.
Look, I can do this to you without hurting you. I'll show you how.
Yeah.
Oh, that was around our playground as well. So the finishing move that Samu and Fatu do, they both sort of hold IRS. This is a cuddle. And they lean forward and they both thrust him into the floor. Weird.
It's like a STO, they call that.
Is it? I don't know, man. They didn't
the front flip.
It was weird. Yeah, it sort of collapsed. It looked cool. Fatu then climbs the top turnbuckle for a large splash over the top of Samu for the pin to IRS. Excuse me. But DiBiase and Bam Bam distracts. The Bam Bam breaks up the pin and attacks Albano before Afa comes in, attacking Bam Bam. They get disqualified. The head shrinkers get disqualified.
Kind of a chaotic moment, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean,
they all leave the ramp
fighting. It suited the gimmick for the head shrinkers, and
it was alright.
It suited the heel thing for Bam Bam and IRS.
Yeah, it was an alright match.
It made me interested for the first time in a while. I mean, I'm a huge head shrinkers fan, but I definitely, legitimately, I was gutted when they weren't champions anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh, right, okay. I wasn't really bothered. It was a good match, It was a good match.
I loved them as a face team.
Yeah, cool. They were different, but I don't really get it. That's what it is. I don't really get it. There's not a lot to them.
Well, you don't understand a lot of things.
No, fair enough. They leave the right phone. It was an okay match. Then we get Leslie Nielsen backstage, the actor from Naked Gun, Aeroplane, Dracula, Dead and Loving It. And it was the first of a series of skits. The idea was he was on the case of finding the Undertaker.
Yeah,
it was good fun. So it was filmed film noir style with Leslie Nielsen doing a voiceover over it.
Looking at the camera and
what is it? Undertaker that way. Directions on the background. He goes up to security, and the security say to him, "Hey, buddy, you can't go in there." And he goes, "Well, first of all, my name's not Buddy." And that sort of, it was all naked
playing
gun.
on
It
the
was
naked
good
gun,
fun. Yeah, it was good fun. He goes down the corridor lit in blue to an Undertaker-like figure, which turns around, and it's George Kennedy. George Kennedy was his partner in Naked Gun, who he performed with in that film. And he informs them that they're both on the case. The camera pans down, and they are both stood on a briefcase. Comedy. It was alright. It was funny, man.
I feel like there's still a place for that occasionally in WWE. I mean, I think they had
big stars to have on it as well.
Yeah,
I mean, Leslie Nielsen,
yeah.
massive
At the time, I mean, do you think there's still a place for that level of comedy occasionally?
Yeah. Look at the New Day, man.
But like celebrity skits and stuff. I know they briefly had guest general managers on Raw, didn't they? Where they had like celebrities do it.
I think it's fine.
Guest hosts.
I think it's good. I think it's funny. Why not? If it's funny, good. Next match, we have Bull Nakano with Luna Vachon versus Alundra Blaze. We haven't done this yet. If you're enjoying the videos, please hit that thumbs up if you stayed with us for this long. We've got a long way to go.
Indeed.
And
appreciate
write
it.
a comment if you think of anything down below. Check out our Facebook. We've been doing a lot of Facebook Lives recently. Which is good fun.
Present day stuff you will find a lot of on Facebook. Debates, discussions, etc. The YouTube has our classic content, our wrestling rewind, which you are hopefully watching now. Thank you very much. This match was actually one of my favourites of the night.
It was a great match, man. It was a great match, and I'm pretty sure this was the match that we saw at 93 at the house show in Hull, at the Hull Arena.
Yeah,
it was
man.
Bull Nakano and Alundra Blaze.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I cried at the end of this because I didn't get Brett's glass. I didn't get any.
My friend got Brett's glasses.
Yeah, I didn't.
You know that?
I didn't get Brett's glasses.
Yeah, my friend's got Brett's glasses.
Awesome. I cried a little bit.
Did you?
And no one tagged me. No one did the thing.
Oh,
it's taking me back now. I'm getting emotional.
Oh, proper emotion. Seriously emotion. So, if you're new to our series, we like to go through a rundown of new wrestlers, and this week Bull Nakano is one of the new wrestlers. And she was great, a Japanese wrestler who began in All Japan's women's pro wrestling.
Hard as nails, man.
She was big, man. She was no, not big. She won Bertha big. Is it Bertha? What's her name? She comes into this soon. Big Bertha?
Oh, Big Bertha.
Big Bertha,
Yeah, Big Bertha. Yeah, she has a love triangle with somebody.
She does, yeah.
Harvey Whippleman and somebody else.
Perhaps.
Harvey Whippleman
we'll
was
get into it soon.
Yeah.
She comes soon. No, but Bull Nakano, she was the first real legitimate competition to Alundra Blaze. A lot of what we've sort of seen of Alundra Blaze so far was her fighting Leilani Kai, who was sort of an older woman who had been with the WWF for well over 10 years by this point. She often played a heel and went to Mexico's Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, where she was the first women's world champion. She was fired from the WWF after this wrong for being found in possession of cocaine. And fired. Naughty girl. And then she later moved to... Naughty girl.
What? WTF.
She'd later moved to WCW, where she'd feud again with Medusa there, which was Alundra Blaze's other. Thank you. In 1997, she retired from wrestling and became a professional golfer. Isn't it great that these women have wicked careers after wrestling? Alundra Blaze went into monster truck magnet stuff.
Magnet stuff?
Yeah. Monster Truck Madness. Do you like that band? Monster Truck Magnet. Good band.
No, Monster Magnet.
Oh, yeah.
I've interviewed Monster Magnet before.
I have, yeah.
An incredible band.
It's not Monster Truck Magnet.
It's not Monster
I'm just going to go back to sleep. Nakano didn't have as much success as Alundra Blaze.
Monster Truck Magnet.
I wrote it down as a little joke and it fell flat. Bull Nakano's hair was standing upright. It normally was at this point, and it was a dull green colour in it, wasn't it? It was cool.
She looked hard.
More hairspray than in our past.
She looks hard, just nearly, but not quite as hard as Dean Ambrose does now.
Oh, man. That's
I bet Bull Nakano could probably take Triple H, Dean Ambrose, these days, but only just,
Yeah, no, she was good.
Pretty hardcore.
Good. She had more hairspray than when me and you used to go out.
When you used to go out.
When you used to go out. Have you never worn hairspray?
You forced me
Hello.
to wear
as well as feathers and glitters. And...
I think I had glitter. I don't think I ever had that. We should.
We'll make it happen.
We should do that.
We'll make it
still
happen.
time.
Alundra Blaze comes out with an amazing cape, man. I mean, Alundra Blaze looked $1,000,000 right now, you know. And she was in a recognisable red and white and yellow singlet by this point as well, which is sort of iconic. That's on the 2K18 series as well, isn't it? When you play as Alundra Blaze. There's flower girls in the ring. They give them flowers when they get into the ring. Like, what on earth are they doing? What on earth are they doing? And then Luna Vachon takes the flowers and hits Alundra Blaze, and I'm like, oh, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, super heel moment there.
But it's like, there was no real reason for it, was there?
Yeah, kind of weird.
Nakano doesn't waste any time, and we're finally seeing Alundra against another excellent wrestler. She's throwing her around the ring, and that's great.
It's a really good job. Like, definitely the most legitimate of challengers.
Yeah.
We've seen in recent years.
Yeah, well, she was like the Nia Jax of the new generation, really.
Definitely. But I would say, this could be controversial, I would say Nakano was a better version.
I'd agree. No, she was good, and she had really good chemistry with Alundra Blaze as well.
Not that I'm discrediting...
but you sort of are a little bit.
Well, I'm not discrediting her as a performer. I'm just saying Nakano was better.
Yeah, I think
that doesn't mean she's not good, does it? Does it?
Yeah, no,
I'm not like it's like clearly I'm better than you, but it doesn't mean you're not. It doesn't mean you're not good.
Starting with a heel thing again.
Doesn't mean you're not good.
You're so heely.
I'm just saying it doesn't mean that you're not a good person.
Thank you.
I'm just better.
Good.
I'm kidding.
Bull also, but if you say you're kidding and it hurts, then it still hurts.
Does it hurt as much as the bosh I gave you on the head the other day?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
really?
weird.
Yeah. On Facebook Live recently, on one of our World of Sport episodes, I boshed Anthony on the head.
You did.
Because he was being a heel.
I was. Well, but you're more heely. I watched it back and I was like, you're actually very heely. I look like the innocent one in that situation.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Bull also had some great submissions, putting Alundra into them, and generally only getting out.
I'm like the Roman Reigns. Some people love me, some people hate me. You're just like...
no one loves Roman Reigns.
You're like the Brooklyn Brawler, who actually appears in this pay-per-view. You're about as popular.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, the same guy that plays the Brooklyn Brawler is also the ball catcher. The guy who appears in the crowd. Abe.
Oh, well, because I didn't get... Right, we'll talk about that when we get into it.
He's the same guy.
Right.
Do
you know what that was about, then?
I have no idea what it was about, but he appeared in the crowd. I've got his name written down as well. Anyway.
Bull also had some really great submissions, putting Alundra into them, and generally only getting out of them because Bull was pulling the hair or something like that.
I'm just going to finish off this point before we carry on. Okay. I am the Roman Reigns of this podcast. You are the Brooklyn Brawler.
Thank you.
Okay, carry on.
Cool. Glad we got that straight. Alundra Blaze keeps pushing out of the submissions, and trying to get them into a pinfall, which was some really nice sort of technical wrestling.
Yeah, definitely.
Eventually, Alundra manages to deliver 3 sling blades, and they give the match so much time. There's a lot of
wicked hurricane
near pinfalls.
Really nice hurricane.
Yeah, man.
Like, definitely, I would say this is the best we've seen. Even from Alundra Blaze, but I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like, wow, sorry, dude. I was taking the mick out of you.
It's all right.
Alundra Blaze has one of her best performances.
It was great. This
might be one. This is definitely one of my matches at the card.
Yes, there was some really good matches here. There was 2 other brilliant matches. Some really, really not very good matches. Yeah. Bull eventually misses a massive sit-down splash from the top rope, leaving an opening for Alundra to deliver a German suplex. And again, it's a German suplex from this sort of tiny girl that... Because Alundra was really small,
she was a lady of small stature.
Yeah.
Small air stature.
Who would you compare her to, for people that don't know her?
Alundra Blaze compared
in modern day WWE.
Well, not Alexa Bliss, because Alexa Bliss is like super small. In terms of athleticism,
Alicia Fox's type figure, wasn't it? I'd say Alicia Fox.
I'd say better. Alundra Blaze is definitely more built.
Yeah, but in terms of like her shape,
more like
what I'm saying is, it was almost like Alicia Fox German suplexing like Alicia Fox. So and it was really impressive in the ring. It looks great. So a little fact about Nakano, because I put this here, she was also the first Japanese person to have a title opportunity for 10 years in the WWE.
There you go.
Any other Japanese wrestlers that had a title opportunity?
Not a world title. Although I remember, I think Hakushi had one briefly. Maybe.
I don't think he did. It was 10 years ago.
I'm talking about like in the future.
Oh yes, yeah. I can't remember who it was in the future that
I think he had like one on like a Raw or something. Maybe.
Yeah, but Yokozuna obviously wasn't Japanese.
Indeed.
So yeah, cool. I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was great.
Yep, really well done.
Next match, interview with Michaels and Diesel, who have held the Intercontinental Championship between them for 2 years, they say. That's not entirely true. They've had a bit of back and forth, especially with Razor and stuff like that. They wanted more gold, so took the tag team championships. And Nash says, what makes Razor think that he can beat him tonight? Really great promo work from Michaels. This is a really funny promo to go watch. He's really enjoying the heel role.
He's doing really well. He's doing really well.
So charismatic.
Like, so brilliant. Like,
but Nash,
but kind of silly as well. Like, you look at
You
look at this Michaels.
Yeah.
And you look at Michaels in the future, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, so different.
So different.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
But they're both great, and that's the thing. But Nash didn't. His promo wasn't very good. I never really liked Nash's promos.
I really struggle to find things to applaud in Kevin Nash's performances in general.
I think there was better stuff in WCW.
The only time I loved him was when I was a kid, and I watched and I cried when, like, Bob Backlund beat Bret Hart. And he locked him in the crossface.
Yeah, and it goes on for way too long. And then Owen Hart forces him to throw in the towel. Yeah, so why was Kevin Nash in that?
And then Diesel wins the title like the next night at like a house show or something.
And you cried then?
No, I was so happy. I was happy because I felt, I was like, Bob Backlund was the biggest villain on the planet.
Really?
For me, like, cool. For a while, yeah.
No, that's cool. It's amazing, isn't it? Because he was a massive babyface at one point.
Yeah, not at this point.
It's
really odd that it's really odd. Anyway, that's a weird time.
He didn't really work as a heel,
That's a weird time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. So the Intercontinental Championships, Kevin Nash with Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon and Walter Payton. I think he was a baseball player or something like that?
I'm trying to think. I think it was some kind of. There was a lot of ties to baseball at this time.
Right, and it came down, and I was like, "Oh God, a celebrity coming down." Yeah. He was awesome. This entire match was awesome.
And there was a moment where he gets chasing around Shawn Michaels, like, it's really fun. Like, again, very playful.
There was a lot of time to do it.
Very playful.
This is a really well-directed match, I think. There was a lot of stuff that was going outside the ring, but it wasn't overtaking what was going on.
That finish is iconic, the super kick to, the mistaken super kick.
It's great.
Because it led on to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Who do you know? I mean, obviously, you probably know, we don't usually research this bit, but I'd like to know who produced that match.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. It was brilliant, and it was produced well. It really sort of takes its time to tell a story, but also, like, the distractions from the outside sometimes can feel rubbish, and there's a lot of distractions on the outside. I'd go as far to say that Shawn Michaels is as big a part of this match as Razor and Diesel.
Man, absolutely. I actually feel like Michaels defines this match for both competitors.
I
feel like I don't feel like Razor would have had a stronger match without Michaels being in there, which is testament to their chemistry as two performers.
And this is a great Intercontinental Championship scene as well.
And Diesel's, and as much as I sometimes hate to credit Shawn Michaels with so much, because obviously backstage he wasn't the nicest of human beings, apparently, he elevated. Diesel would not have been the performer that Diesel was if Michaels hadn't been there.
So when they get into the ring, Michaels and Payton square up straight away, which was interesting. It wasn't over the top. Like, a celebrity being involved is normally like, oh no, just stay away, or it's one big spot. And Payton, from the moment he got in there, sort of really integrated well into the match. The original NWO. Yeah. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in the ring here, the invaders of WCW. Diesel ends up on the outside of the ring early, taking a break with Michaels. It feels like a really big match. The two guys are so big and sort of going at it. And these were two powerhouses, Razor and Kevin Nash, weren't they? They were great.
Definitely like they're just, again, their chemistry. Diesel had more chemistry as testament to the long-lasting relationship they had. I think Razor was always the great foil to Diesel.
Yeah.
There was not many people that could bring as a performance out of Diesel the way that Scott Hall could, or Shawn or Razor Ramon.
I don't
And
think there
vice
could have been
versa,
anyone
actually.
else that could have gone into the NWO, into
No.
WCW, and gone straight into the NWO and have that same impact that they did.
Absolutely, and there's no way that
Big guys.
There's no way that other guys like Sean Waltman, 1-2-3 Kid, or a Six Pack as he was, could have got the same rub, would have had the same stroke. If it wasn't those two, do you know what I mean? Those two were instrumental.
No, absolutely.
Instrumental once these people lost their jobs with WWE. They gave them another opportunity, and know that it was.
Even when there was in the WWE,
as
I
much
think
as
the clique was giving everyone opportunities.
As much as
within their clique.
Within their clique, As much as as much as Eric Bischoff will go down in wrestling infamy, it was Nash and Hall whispering in his ear, telling him what to do, telling him who to bring in.
Absolutely.
Arguably, WCW wouldn't have been successful without.
It wouldn't have been. No, definitely wouldn't have been. Sorry.
It's
all right. There's a lot of focus on the outside of the ring between Peyton and Michaels at this point. After Michaels runs away from Peyton, he delivers a forearm to Razor, so it's really sort of playing nicely into the match. The thing that I was really impressed with Peyton is he knew exactly where to be, and exactly when to stop, and there's a great moment which I'll go into later on. The ref notices an exposed turnbuckles which Michaels has set up. This is a great moment, man. So as Nash is about to throw Ramon into it, the ref stands on the second turnbuckle and says, No, you can't do it, which is different to what we normally see. You don't see that at all. It was great. So then Michaels climbs on top of the ring to argue with the ref. The ref gets distracted, and Nash throws Razor into the exposed turnbuckle. Anyway,
it was
great setup, man. That's what I mean. That's why I'd love to know who produced the match, because
definitely
that was brilliant.
We'll find out in our post.
Then
research.
Michaels jumps on top of the apron. I think it's that sort of stuff there that makes these guys really stand out above a lot of everything else that's going on in the WWE. A spoiler alert, the next match is Tatanka and Lex Luger, and they're going against this sort of chemistry and this sort of storytelling, which is just mental, man.
Absolutely. And you know what? And I've got a lot of time for I was going to say spoiler alert, heel Tatanka.
It's a good moment, but
nothing against this.
Razor's getting seriously punished at this point. Razor was on the bottom for a lot of this, with Michaels using every opportunity he can to punish Razor as he can, holding him in place, giving him digs whenever he can, and it's great. And the crowd really hate Michaels and Diesel because of all this cheating. Diesel continues in the ring, using the ropes as leverage whilst holding a submission on Razor. Razor then throws Diesel into the turnbuckle, going for the pin on Diesel, and Diesel. Right, so he has that proper thing that really annoys me with wrestlers. Jericho's really bad at it. You know when a referee's counting a pin, and the wrestlers are going...
You've mentioned this before, yeah.
And watching the ref. Well, Diesel does it, man. Diesel does it. I'd.
Yeah, but Anthony, you wouldn't be able to do that much better, would you?
Yeah, what I'd do is I'd just close my eyes, I'd chill out, and I'd listen. 1, 2, kick out. Right, that's what I'd do. I wouldn't go like this. Right. It's like, right, here's what it's like. Do you know swimmers, right? Swimmers start on a starting platform and they go down and stand by or whatever it is, and the honk a horn or whatever they do, and then a gun fires and they shoot off. It's like a swimmer on a diving board looking at the man firing the gun. It's exactly the same as that. It's really annoying. Runners don't do it, do they? You don't see runners they're all down there, and the one's just like... Even horses don't do it, for God's sake. Diesel calls for a jackknife at this point.
I've never thought about it like that.
It's really annoying. Diesel calls for the jackknife, but Razor lifts out of it. After Razor calls for the Razor's Edge, Michaels grabs the title and tries to get into the ring. This is the great moment with Peyton. Peyton grabs the title while Michaels has got onto the apron. And Michaels is doing that whole thing where he's got hold of the title and he's not going to fall off the apron, blah, blah, blah. Right, this is why Peyton did amazing. How many celebrities would have been told to do that spot and would have yanked the title?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right? And he doesn't. He holds it and looks like he's pulling it, fighting Michaels, but not fighting Michaels, because he would have just pulled him off the apron or he would have had to let it go. Brilliant.
Yeah, nicely done.
Good work,
especially considering what we've seen in previous pay-per-views with commentators, guest commentators, people from outside the WWE coming in, having no flipping idea.
No, but we see this in I think it's in next WrestleMania with Bam Bam, the sort of American football.
Yeah, the
football player.
Lawrence. It's not Lawrence Fishburne.
That would be a different match.
Yeah, that would be. It would be different.
So whilst the ref tells Peyton off, Michaels get into the ring to deliver a super kick to a held-up Razor.
Who is that now?
And Razor sidesteps out of the way, and he hits Diesel instead. It is an iconic moment. It's sort of the breakup of Diesel and Michaels, but it's a great photo, isn't it? It's a photo that you see a lot of Michaels super kicking Diesel. The crowd go mental as well. The build-up is so
Lawrence
good.
Lawrence Taylor, that's the one. Yeah, I was going to be like, there was another Lawrence as well.
Of Arabia.
I keep thinking of different Lawrences that are in like popular culture that aren't Lawrence Taylor.
I thought it was a really great match, and I'm surprised that I didn't remember it because it's absolutely excellent. It's brilliant.
Wait, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was
really
going to say Lawrence
match.
Taylor versus Bam Bam.
No, that's awful. No, this match, it was great. Diesel and Michaels are arguing while heading up the ramp, so we've got that to look forward to. New Intercontinental Champion. The other thing, right, so they've given them the tag team titles, right, so then that suddenly becomes an interesting storyline as well. You've got this broken tag team who are the champions.
It doesn't happen very often at this time, but obviously, again, it's a very recycled. You could tell, I mean, it must be a difficult job to be a WWE writer, but they recycle a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
these same storylines appear today all the time.
Yeah, of course I do. There's only so many stories you can tell. No, there's not.
Well, it depends.
They are a bit lazy with it.
Yeah, but there's also so many stories you can tell that are televisable. Televisable,
not just televisable, but good. Like most stories go back to like Shakespeare, don't they?
Well, you can. I mean, I'm trying to think of the last Shakespeare story you heard unravel on WWE TV. The love affair of Bailey and Sasha Banks that never came to anything.
Why? What Shakespeare plays that?
Only a few weeks ago, you had this kind of, you had Sasha Banks confess her love for Bailey, but then it never went anywhere. Yeah,
it's weird. I don't think they know what they're doing.
Anyway, but at least they followed through with this.
Yeah, it was good. So we see Macho summarise the match and how all the friction between Michaels and Diesel when they're tag team champions. Exactly what I just said. That's great. Then we have an interview with Lex Luger and Tatanka. The results of the opinion poll, a call-in premium number to make WWF a little more dollar because they weren't getting enough money from Domino's. They must have got a lot of money for that, man, to have Undertaker's face on every pizza box. They got paid big bucks for that. So the opinion poll results are in, and 54% think that he sold out. Whether that number's made up or not, it doesn't really matter, does it? Tatanka, why would you call a premium number to add to that statistic?
But you do it this time. In this time, I used to call numbers to TV shows and stuff.
Big Brother and X Factor do it
to
and
win
stuff like
things,
that, don't they?
to win things like figures. I remember
so you can have your opinion.
Like wrestling figures, so you can have your opinion, and then you win like figures, or you win something.
Cool.
It was again being a kid. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be any younger now. I love being however old I am, but
which is ancient.
Which is obviously ancient. But I do enjoy looking back at those moments. I feel it was a good time to grow up.
It was, man. It was a good time. It was a good time. Tatanka shows footage of the $1 Million Man and Lex Luger. So this sort of combines footage where Lex Luger's come out and incidentally Ted DiBiase's come out while Lex Luger's fighting, and somehow Lex Luger wins, or Ted DiBiase going into Lex Luger's dressing room with a bag full of money and sort of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're setting up the idea that Lex could have sold out to Ted DiBiase. Which is a good story. Lex denies that he's taken any deal. It's a free country, but he knows he didn't sell out. It's weird, isn't it? You've got this sort of new generation with this like Hulk Hogan sort of figure that's just a bit sort of weak, like a really watered down Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, kind of like a PG.
But you've got all 13. This other awesome stuff going on, like the Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
This was for the blue collar American fans that still saw something in Lex Luger.
Yeah,
they were clinging on to.
It's that still go USA.
But I feel like that is very much, even at this point, Not that I'm not. I love America and I love a good bit of patriotism, but certainly with a character like Luger, they were sort of flogging a dead horse at this point.
Yeah,
I feel like
there
was, and to be honest,
they still do.
I mean, even though Tatanka came back like 5 years ago or 4 years ago to WWE for a brief run, but I think Tatanka's whole career was like, I mean, how did that?
How do you get an Indian over?
Huh?
How do you get an Indian over? It's not a joke. It sounds like the start to a joke. He was an Indian, wasn't he?
Well, Native American, but like...
Sorry.
It wasn't... Anthony.
What?
No.
Why?
What do you mean?
Why?
No. Anyway, let's just...
Let's move on.
Oh, God. I'm sorry if anybody loved Tatanka.
He was an Indian. He used to do that himself and go around the ring chopping.
What do you mean, how did you get
He was a Native American Indian.
What do you mean, how did you get an Indian over? The same way you get...
I know, but it was just such a crappy cartoon gimmick. Don't start because you swore earlier on. I'll get away with that. You did. You did.
What did I say?
A word that I'm going to have to edit out.
No, I didn't. I stopped myself.
You didn't. It come out. No, you didn't. It come out, and I thought, right, I'll have to edit that out.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Right, Lex denies that he's taken any deal. It's free country. Lex Luger versus Tatanka. The crowd were a mix of cheers and boos for Lex Luger, so the crowd were in doubt of Lex Luger. I'd be booing. Just because I'm really bored of him in his matches. Yeah. And we've seen these two go at it a few times, and I think there was one time that it was okay, and we was both really surprised that it was an okay match. But this just is rubbish. And yeah, this is just after a really good match between Razor and Diesel. Both men have incredible physical moves, is what McMahon tries to sell.
Incredible physical moves.
As they embrace in a lockup. Do you know when you're just hearing something and watching it and going, meh?
Yeah. Great physical specimens grappling with each other.
But it's not good, is it? It's such a slow match.
Yeah.
And honestly, the first half of the match is just lockups. Even a power from Tatanka doesn't have the impact it should have. Yeah, it's just rubbish. It has a lot of punches and the occasional Native Indian or Native American. Chopper.
What?
Chopper.
Okay.
It was my onomatopoeia of an axe.
Okay.
Tatanka was honestly, he was doing all the work in the ring, even though his moveset wasn't that exciting. Lex starts running down Tatanka with clotheslines when DiBiase comes out with a bag of money. Right, so finally we get into an interesting part of the match. Whilst Luger is distracted by DiBiase's money, Tatanka gets a win. What? No. DiBiase gets in the ring with a money bag and Lex kicks the bag away, only to be attacked from behind by Tatanka. Tatanka has a massive heel turn here. Good move.
Yep, and it worked out for him for a good while afterwards. $1 Million Corporation.
$1 Million Corporation. And then, because Bam Bam was in that, and then Bam Bam left, and they sort of had a thing against Bam Bam for a bit. It was really good. Yeah. So he delivers multiple Samoan drops on Luger. We actually see some wrestling moves, which is really impressive. So Tatanka was the one that sold out. It was a good swerve, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't think you would have seen that at the time.
This time I remember being quite shocked by it.
You would have been, yeah. It gives DiBiase a cuddle to a chorus of boos. Do you think that he took the money in payment for his services or for Native American goods, or what did Tatanka take the money for? Cherokee tampons.
I think he had.
I think that's what he got paid him.
I think I'm going to quit the podcast. He got paid for better. He had a better hairdo after this. He changed his hair a little bit.
Did he?
Yeah, a little
Why?
bit.
What did he do?
I think he had changed the colour of the dye.
Oh no, he didn't have dye now.
It was definitely coming up.
In this match, he didn't have dye though.
Well, there you go. He changed it up soon.
Yeah.
He changed it up
Tatanka gets back into the ring and slaps the $1 Million Dream submission on Ted DiBiase. That's clever, man. A good way
homage.
Keeping it within the $1 Million Corporation and what it becomes. A lot of the shows about $1 Million Man coming out on top of all these matches, which sort of leads into the main event, which is the Undertaker. Next match in Great Jeff Jarrett versus Mabel with a rap from Oscar. So Mabel, so it's country versus rap, basically.
Yeah, that's how they build it, isn't it?
It's fine. Here I am.
But they didn't have any prep. There was no real build up to this either. It was just kind of placed on the card.
Yeah. Wasn't he supposed to have another match? I'm sure I read somewhere that he was supposed to have a match.
I don't know, but this was a weak point in the card.
It was better than the last match.
You
think this is better than Luger and Tatanka?
In terms of its entertainment value.
Yeah, but that was only like 1 minute. That wasn't the match, was it? These two performed way better in the ring. Here I Am, shot down Daddy in SummerSlam.
Did you enjoy that?
He wasn't that good at rap, was he?
Well, it was better than you.
I just repeated his lyrics.
No, but I've seen you rap. I've heard you rap.
You can't make them lyrics sound any good. Do you know, Linkin Park, man, it really annoys me. The reason I've never particularly liked Linkin Park is because of In the End. Do you know one thing, I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try.
It's a great lyric.
It sounds like a Mr. Motivator.
It's a simple lyric that people can repeat to themselves. That's what rap is built on.
I dislike it.
Well, you're wrong.
And is this about Here I Am, shot down Daddy at SummerSlam?
It's not terrible.
Do a rap then.
You suck.
Good. Nice and simple. Yeah, at least he had a good tagline though with the whoop, there it is. Whoop. You do it.
There it is.
Whoop.
There it is.
Whoop. Good. Jeff Jarrett struts after ducking a clothesline, and then when Mabel gets out of the way of a clothesline, he does a little strut. It looks really awkward, but it was quite funny. Nice to see Mabel at this point solo, in my opinion. It was,
it was the start of a rather ill-fated push at this time.
Yeah, and obviously we get the King of the Ring next year. I thought it was a really lazy seller again, though. He never reacted to the connections.
But how are you gonna? Yeah, but how when you're that big?
You just move. Yokozuna did it better than Mabel at times. And that's and you know I'm not a massive Yokozuna fan. You know, Yokozuna was that's my problem actually with Mabel. If you think about Yokozuna and the way that he'd fall out of the ring, like that was really good selling. Like his taking a punch and stuff was rubbish, but that part of it actually really sold it as the good guy getting over. Mabel, when Jarrett's like delivering like elbows to him off the top rope, like doesn't move.
I think he sort of leans, doesn't he? He leans. He's a seller that leans.
Right.
So like and then he just drops to one side quite a lot.
I didn't really rate it.
I mean, I'm not saying that's a good way of selling, but he's a leaner.
Halfway through the match, a man dressed as a baseball athlete with weird ball face.
His official name.
So he's got like a baseball painted onto his face. It looks like something from the Warriors.
Knuckleball Swartz is his official name. Steve Lombardi.
Oh, it's Steve Lombardi, is it?
Also known as.
Does he come into stuff later on?
Not the Abe Knuckleball Swartz character. Okay. No, I think. Although he has a cameo on Raw, like one of the Raw anniversaries.
Oh, does he? Right.
And Triple H goes, "Oh, the Brooklyn Brawler must be busy tonight."
Very good, because obviously he was
Brooklyn Brawler, and also Doink for a period of time.
He was, yes.
Yeah,
especially on the house show.
It's amazing how he had such a long career.
Yeah,
like I mean. 31 or 2 years it was with WWE.
He's still working in NXT now, isn't he?
I don't think he is. No, I think he was let go. He was let go finally after but he came back for like one of the anniversary things. But he was officially let go like a few years back.
Mabel goes to deliver a splash from the second rope, but misses. Jarrett flips over Mabel and tries to drag him down for a pin.
That was funny.
Mabel goes to sit down to crush him, but teabag him, if you will.
That would be your finisher. That would be your finisher.
So would, yeah. I'd love to teabag you.
Oh, really?
Yes, I would.
Wow,
yes.
I bet that. Yeah, I bet you said that to a few people before.
Hey! But he misses, and Jeff sort of awkwardly rolls him up for the win. It was all right.
Yeah, that wasn't done as well as it could have been.
No. Next, Vince announces the Super Sleuths, Leslie Nielsen and George Kennedy, standing on the entrance ramp. A shadowy figure appears in. This was really fun. Well done, man.
This was fun, man.
As
a kid, this was a lot of fun.
And the crowd are going, "It's behind you, it's behind you." It's just panto, isn't it?
Yeah.
The gauze lift. So what they've done is they've actually. Do you know how they did it? Because it looks really good.
Go on, you tell me.
So they've got a light with a gobo. Remember what a gobo is?
Yeah. I'm reading about gobo. Yeah.
Right, so they've got a gobo of the Undertaker, right, and they've put the light through it, So it reveals a shadow of the Undertaker, and then when the gauze lifts up, there's nothing there apart from the light. Really smartly done, man. It looks really cool. A little bit of theatre in there. Cage match next, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. What an awful match.
Given the two,
I'm joking. It's amazing.
I feel like given the two of them have got so much chemistry. This was one of the better things. I think this is one of the better cage matches I've seen.
It's one of the best cage matches of all time.
In terms of like, I feel like all time.
Yeah, it probably is.
I feel like you might be right.
Yeah, it probably is.
That assessment. The dynamic here was better than they've ever been before in terms of, Bret's pulling out, they're pulling each other's hair.
Is it better than the WrestleMania 10 match? Technically, I don't think it is.
No, but I think in terms of the drama,
maybe.
The way the dynamic between the two.
Here's the thing. So the moment they get into the ring, they're selling the cage, right?
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean. It's like a prop. It's like a prop and two artists working with a prop.
It's like that ladder match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 10, where the cage becomes a real thing in the match. So many cage matches these days just become a match about a spot.
Yeah.
And this isn't about a spot. And there's spots within it. I sometimes wish within the match there was a little more wrestling. Yeah. A little more. But I like the fact that they're playing the objective. And again,
I like there's like Bret, like I said, I mentioned there's a moment where he pulls Owen's hair and you genuinely feel like the anger has got to him. You know what I mean? Like a Gargano Ciampa type thing where even the baby faces, even the babiest of faces. Yeah. Is like pushed to the edge.
Too far, you know? Stuart Pretzel, one of our friends on Facebook. Did you say
Pretzel?
Pretzel.
Stuart Pretzel, yes.
Pretzel, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Well, what did I say?
You said Stuart Pretzel.
No, I didn't. I just said it really fast.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Stuart Pretzel.
Pretzel.
Pretzel. P-R-E-T.
Stuart.
Stu. He said he was really excited for us to cover this match. So
thanks,
here you are, Stu. This one is going out for you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for all your communication.
Thanks for all your support. We just, you give us.
We appreciate everyone's support.
Gave us a 5-star on Facebook as well. Like he gave us a rating. So shout out for that too.
Too sweet.
We appreciate you too. Too sweet.
Yeah, I'm not touching you. We see a rundown of the Hart story from Survivor Series 93. It's mainly all stuff that we've covered in the podcast, but the fact that it's been repeated, sort of the 94 Royal Rumble, the WrestleMania 10, the Survivor Series 93, shows how iconic it's become and how good them promos were. That it's gone on for sort of 9 months now.
So it was definitely a credible feud, like one of the best feuds in wrestling history, one of the best times.
I think I want to talk to you about it at the end of the match.
But in terms of longevity, in terms of something you could carry on,
it's a great feud. It was a great feud.
You made the comparison between this and Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano.
I think that was a better feud.
Because hang on, we'll need to discuss this later on.
All right, okay.
Towards the end, but that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's what
it's a great
there is
feud.
Not many things in present day product or in history, in the history of WWE, where you could carry it on. Like, you know what I mean? What else have we said through our history, through our wrestling rewind? Have we ever said, "Oh man, this has been going on for 9 months. I'm still into it. I'm still digging it. I'm still feeling it."
I'd say some of the Macho Man stuff. Maybe the Mega Powers.
More of it. More so perhaps, but not for me personally. It didn't grab me as much.
Cool. So we see in these highlights the Rumble and the kick from Owen to the injured Bret's leg. Bret saying that he won't fight his brother. That awesome interview, the WrestleMania 10. With Owen standing at the end, really good, Bret and Owen in King of the Ring.
Really good drama build up there, yeah.
Including Hart, don't forget, helping out Owen to ring King of the Ring. Jim the Anvil Hart passed away this week. That's really sad news. A young man really as well, really. 60.
Yeah, relatively, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
that's sad.
Obviously plays a part in this match too.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So our sympathies to anyone that knew
Natalia
Jim.
and TJ.
And everyone, yeah. Then we see Bruce Hart saying that Owen's a disgrace to the family. They have a couple of interviews here. Bruce Hart saying Owen's a disgrace to the family on an episode of King's Court. On Superstars, Owen says Bret's title reign is over and no one will interfere because it's a cage match. I'm glad that no one did interfere, actually. Well, nobody interferes until after the match, which is good. Which is good. Bret uses it because that's something WWE would have talked about doing.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
No, it's good that they didn't. Bret says that he used to do chin-ups on Owen's crib, which I thought was a really nice image, actually. The sort of Big Brother image on a crib, I thought was funny. And that Owen's going to cry when he loses to Bret. So part of the reason that it's so long with this section is because they're setting up a steel cage. We have an interview with Stu and Helen Hart, who are sat in the front row, and they hope that it'll all be finished soon and that the best wrestler wins. I was watching, did you see on the network they've put one of the Hart documentaries on it? Oh, it's heartbreaking, man.
Is it?
Oh,
Really?
yeah, really sad. Like, when Owen passed away, like, Helen was in, like, deep depression, and, like, she passed away, like, 6 months after, because she was like...
Wow, man.
Oh, it's awful, man.
Yeah,
Awful.
that's some bleak stuff, dude.
Awful stuff, man, yeah. Awful.
Puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Life's good. Life's good. Oh.
There you go. If anything can bring a too sweet out of you.
Yeah, they hope this will all be finished soon and that the best wrestler wins. Bulldog's there in his glasses. Weird to see him with glasses on. Bulldog wouldn't want to...
He looks very smart, doesn't he?
It does, yeah.
Very smart.
With like a cowboy like waistcoat type thing. Weird. Bulldog wouldn't want to face Bret tonight, even though he faced him at 1992 SummerSlam because he's in great condition, Bret. Jim the Anvil Neidhart is behind him at ringside, and he says that you're going to see who the best Hart is tonight. Bruce and Jim start pointing fingers at each other. If anyone gets involved, they go for each other. So we've got this sort of massive family dynamic here, and they're sort of taking over the huge section of the ring, but it's really interesting, isn't it? In an interview with Bret, he's going in the match with one thing in mind, to prove that he is better than Owen, and that has always been better than Owen. And the problem with Owen is jealousy, and it's all in Owen's head. It's sad that it's come this far between two brothers, but it's out of the dungeon and now a dogfight.
Into the cage and a dog
Yeah,
fight.
it's cool. Great build-up, great story. I mean, what more can you want? Howard Finkel takes his time to explain the rules of a steel cage match. Obviously, this was a match that... Well, it was happening. I mean, we saw it at WrestleMania 2, didn't we, with King Kong Bundy versus Hulk Hogan? But it's still... we haven't seen many.
This was head and shoulders above that.
Oh, yeah, head and shoulders, man. Head and shoulders. The King of Hearts is the first to come down with broken heart gobos on the floor in the ring. That was awesome. As soon as Bret steps into the ring, Owen goes for him. Bret is the first to try and escape after a couple of moves. There's a lot. I'm going to read through the notes, and you're going to get really bored of me saying they climbed the cage or they tried to get out of the cage. There's a lot of that in this match, but it's so well done.
Psychologically, it's like they're trying to get the match over and done with, or Bret is anyway, particularly.
And
it works really well.
Each one is like a different way that they come off the cage as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like a repeat action.
Yeah.
I think there might be a little bit too... I would have liked to have seen a little bit.
That's why I use the analogy of the term, an actor playing with a prop, two actors playing with a prop.
Yeah,
It definitely feels like
they've worked the match around it.
It feels like theatre.
Yeah. So Bret's first trying to escape.
In contrast to the comedy theatre in the following match.
But
this was genuine theatre. This was genuine art.
Theatre.
This was art.
So Bret tries to escape. Bret pulls him down. When Owen tries to do the same, he gets a follow-away slam from high up on the cage. A really nice spot. At this point, Bret goes for the door. So we're establishing now that the door is a way to escape. And the two go back and forth quite a few times. One time was really sweet with Owen jumping over Bret to try and get out of the cage. It was really neat. And something that we don't see as much these days than playing with a cage. Owen eventually gets over the top of the cage, but Bret catches him and drags him down onto the top turnbuckle, where the two fight on the top turnbuckle, exchanging fists, which ends with Bret going down and an awesome double drop kick from Owen Hart. That's not an easy move to do.
He's so good at those, man.
He
did some
good.
missiles, man. Missile drop kicks.
It's a really hard match to describe because a lot of it is them playing the objective of trying to escape the cage, but that's what makes the match so good, and the audience get behind that, and you genuinely have no idea who's going to win. I mean, Owen won WrestleMania 10. It's one of these awesome matches where you just don't know what's going to happen. Absolutely. And that's great. Really well. When Bret tries to escape at one point, he ends up hung up via his groin on the top rope, a great spot where Owen...
I mean, more ways than one I felt this moment.
It's a bit awkward because he sort of he drops on it and then sort of stumbles off it as well. It looks like he could have actually hurt his leg doing that, but yeah. A great spot where Owen's on the other side of the cage and Bret is holding him by his head. at this point, and his hands, I think he might have been holding on with one arm, I didn't see, but his legs are certainly flailing around, and it looks like Bret is just holding him on with his head, which looks great.
It looks more serious than it is. It's really well done.
Yeah, really well done. And the crowd are panicking because, like, you know, if Bret lets go, then Owen's going to win. It's great. Bret nearly gets out, but he's dragged back by Owen, who delivers a Samoan drop. Both men work up the tension to the match, as well as the family on the outside of the ring added a lot as well.
Yeah, I think like rest holds, like we said this before, like the holds and stuff that happen between Bret and the way they work these matches. We talked about this in the past.
Some people do it.
Some people do it really. I mean, look, these guys do when Lex Luger does it.
Oh, it's boring.
We're like, and then when Bret Hart does it.
Yeah,
when Owen Hart does it.
Different level.
When Tatanka does it. When Owen Hart does it. You know what I mean? Like.
So there's a great. Oh no! Owen goes to smash Bret's face into the cage. Bret gets his boot up on the cage and smashes Owen's head into it. It looked like he was trying to bust himself open. Then he really sort of threw his head into it. I wonder if he was trying to bust himself open. Great pile driver at this point, delivered from Owen, and then Owen tries to escape. Bret struggles to get up. So the idea of that, do you know, like the Undertaker sit up? Bret sort of looks like he does that. He sort of sits up to go, and then just falls back down. So Owen carries on climbing. The crowd are going mental because they think that this is it. Bret can't get up.
I'm not a huge fan of that normally, but like, you know, when people do that and you know that they're so worn out and they get up and then they fall back down again. Like sometimes it's done really well.
This is done really well because he doesn't actually stand up. He just sort of sits up and then goes, "Oh no." Yeah. And that builds up that tension when you're seeing that other person climb the cage. Great stuff, man. Really, really well done. The two get really scrappy as well under the door, so it feels like a brawl. It feels like a fist fight.
It turns into, it's like, you know, like Bret Hart, Johnny Gargano. You know what I mean? It's like you feel the man. You know, he's pushed into breaking point. Yeah. You know, like Owen Hart's a very good example of like I think Ciampa's channeling. You know, some Owen Hart vibes. You know what I mean?
The Black Heart could potentially be referencing.
Very good point. Yeah,
I have mentioned it before. It is a very good point, so I'll mention it again. Owen tries to push Bret into the cage, but Bret baseball slides to let Owen hit with his own momentum. At this point, Bret sort of collides with the cage. I don't think that was meant to happen, but starts selling his leg again, reacting to the sort of spot and to what was going on. A great moment when the two are at the top and Bret slips off Owen's leg as they're both at the top. So he's holding onto his leg to the other side and slips off. Owen so quickly jerks out the way, and it looks like this is the point where he's going to win. Yeah. But Bret manages to get hold of him again. It's great. It's
well played.
Bret delivers an incredible suplex from the top of the turnbuckle with Owen on top of the cage. I mean, there's your big spot of the match. And it's a great spot, and we haven't seen the family members for a while at this point, and then we start, the direction goes back towards them because it's like they're all concerned for both of the family who's done this devastating thing. Really clever, really well paced. Owen eventually locks in the sharpshooter, saying that he's going to break Bret's. He's going to go on. You say it.
Break Bret's knees, legs. Isn't it? It's legs. Yeah,
it's a bit of a tongue twister, which is great. It's that Owen Hart shouting out type thing. But Bret eventually reverses it into his own sharpshooter, so we get to see the sharpshooter from both of them.
Oh, I was doing that. I was having a moment. I was like,
licking your lips.
It's a definite. It's definitely. I don't know what's going on today. We seem to both be having a mouth malfunction.
A mouth malfunction. Yeah. Awesome. I'm glad you got me to say that.
There you go. Both men. Malfunction of the mouth.
Both men try to escape and end up on the outer side of the cage. This is great, isn't it? So they're both punching each other. Bret slams Owen's head into the cage. And each time it's like, oh God, hurt him, but don't hurt him too much because he might fall. And he does. Owen sort of falls back. But he's got his leg trapped in the cage. And it's great because it looks when he falls, it's like, oh, he's going to win.
No, there was, like beautiful. I say, I feel like this was beautiful. Done, I feel like this was, again, in terms of cage matches,
it's best
and heightened drama.
Yeah.
Like, even by today's standards, you could get away with this level of drama.
Yes.
You know, a lot, even marks, even like, you know, even wrestling fans that are cynical like us, you know, that are just like, oh, Roman Reigns falling through the cage, what a ridiculous finish.
Yeah.
This type of drama would work.
Yeah, instead of
Ciampa and Gargano, sorry that we, you know.
Yeah, no, but they would do this
They're
perfectly.
good at drama. They're good at drama. They're good at, you know, over the top drama.
Who knows? Maybe that'll be the next one. You know, and that'd be amazing. I'd be so happy to see that, especially with it after
that'd be
just
very old
rewatching
school.
this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd work, and you know, so like you don't. This match didn't need that Braun Strowman throwing Kevin Owens off the top of the ring, off the top of the cage, or like you said, Roman Reigns spearing Brock Lesnar sort of thing. It didn't need it. It didn't need any of that. It told the story beautifully.
There is nothing we've seen, and very few things we will see going forward that come close to. I will say it one more time: two performers, two wrestling artists, using the cage as a prop.
Oh, I'd say there is though.
To better effect.
I'd say there is. The ladder match we just watched. It's the same sort of standard.
In a cage, though.
Oh no, not in a cage. No, yeah, this will be the best cage. But what I'm saying is that idea of an object.
That ladder match with Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. One of the only ladder matches that equaled that excitement. Yeah, I wasn't as big a fan as everyone else is of that ladder match.
I love it.
But there's a ladder match on Raw between Undertaker and Jeff Hardy.
We talked about it at the time.
Man, you know, that was emotional. Man. Yeah.
So Bret wins. Bret comes. I mean, it's an incredible ending. It's brilliant. Jim Neidhart then climbs the barricade and goes to clothesline Bulldog, but as well as clotheslining Bulldog's wife goes over the barricade as well. Really good bump that she says, and it wasn't actually supposed to happen.
I feel like I said, there's a lot of this really just serves to again build that anticipation for for the continuation of this feud, and the whole family's falling apart, man.
Well, the thing that I think that's great about this is it was chaotic, right? There was a lot going on, but it was so organised. Yeah. Like, it wasn't...
Yeah. And then the other Harts coming in and all that stuff. Like,
the image of...
It looked like a family feud, like something you see on Jerry Springer.
But it wasn't messy. We could follow all of the action. Yeah. So from Bulldog's wife taking that bump, then him and Owen drag Bret into the cage, and Neidhart locks up the cage door, which was a bit fumbly, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, I always hate they do that sometimes, and I always feel for anyone that has to do those spots. Any wrestler that has to do those spots, or getting
out of handcuffs and stuff like that.
Because it always gets fumbled, man.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, because it's a small thing to do on a big stage when you're nervous and it's a big moment and whatnot as a performer. Then we have Owen and Neidhart drag Bret into the cage whilst Neidhart locks up the cage. Owen continues beating down Bret. It's done so quickly, it's chaotic, and then all the Harts are trying to climb the cage, so all the family members, some of which we've never seen before in pay-per-view. Where was Keith Hart? It would have been nice to have seen Keith.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Because that was the sort of start of the feud with the Survivor Series, but I couldn't see Keith in it. Davey Boy, so Owen and Neidhart do a great job of beating off the brothers and brothers of Bret, or brother-in-laws of Bret. So they're sort of knocking him down whilst attacking Bret in the ring. It's really good. Bulldog's the one that eventually gets over the ring. So we're getting all this drama, all this excitement of them sort of climbing. It's great, and sort of trying to get in. Owen and Neidhart immediately dart to try and get out of the ring. Both climb over. Davey Boy grabs Neidhart by the leg. He's sort of pulling him quite high up, and his shoe slips off, and Davey Boy takes a nice bump onto the mat. I mean, it's so chaotic, but so well done, man. Yeah. I mean, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Like, again, that adds another dimension, another form of excitement, another leg to the obviously based on your comment, but like another leg to the feud. You know what I mean? Like another mile to the race.
Yes, and this was supposed to be the last match as well, which is weird. I mean, because you still carry on the family feud.
It feels like a cliffhanger at the end of a Netflix
Yeah, it does,
series.
yes. Yeah. So I don't understand why they told him it was going to be the last match and then have all this sort of happen with Neidhart getting involved and Davey Boy getting involved. They then try to interview Owen and Neidhart, but they get out of the way. He doesn't know what Bulldog was doing. Anvil says Hitman shouldn't get in his way. It's incredible storytelling. It's great. So let's go from some incredible storytelling to The Undertaker versus The Underfaker.
Take
Yay.
you know what, dude?
It's awful.
Yeah, but the pre-stuff, like the theatre.
It's great, yeah.
We're talking about theatre a lot today. Like all this stuff with Leslie Nielsen and like, the fact
The
that
Undertaker stuff is theatre,
when we were kids, like, again, I was mortified when The Undertaker... I mean, I was never a great Undertaker fan at this time. Or, to be honest, like, he's not my favourite wrestler of all time anyway, but... I was mortified when he went with Ted DiBiase because he was you know what I mean? I was like, what the heck? He's gone for the money, but he's a dead man. Why does he need to care about money? Yeah. He's got an urn, and these are all things that went through my head as a kid.
Who needs money when you've got an urn?
Who needs money when you got an urn and a weird, a weird sort of what do you call it? Frankenstein's assistant.
Igor,
weird Igor type guy following you around. Like that's what you need in life. That's all you need. and I feel like it was a definite like sad moment when he comes back and he's like, oh wow, the Undertaker isn't, he likes money.
You're my Igor.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a sad moment, definitely, when because at that time, because obviously I'm gullible as anything because I believe that Bill Clinton was one of them. But at that time I believed it was the Undertaker.
I think a lot of people did. I think they did a great job actually.
The lighting was kept dark and everything. You know what I mean? So
because they've got like someone to make tattoos for the Underfaker, and it was Jerry Lawler that went in when the colours all wrong, and he got out his like art set because Jerry Lawler's like massive into colouring. And so he like recoloured all the tattoos to make sure they looked like just like, and they do. I mean, they look great. When the two were standing side by side in HD era. But if he was a couple of rows back, he probably wouldn't have told. So we get a load of video packages showing the Royal Rumble coffin match. Reports of people seeing the Undertaker. This was really funny. There was a bakery.
Moment.
Who says that they've seen the Undertaker? A child says that they've seen the Undertaker sliding down a slide, and what looked like a pawn shop.
The Vox Pops, man.
Yeah,
great.
I mean, they're not really places that you'd see the Undertaker, are they?
But it was really entertaining,
Can I have some bread, please?
Could I go on your slide? I want to slide straight to hell.
Weird.
Rest in dough.
Ted DiBiase said that he's found the Undertaker, but Paul Bearer denies it's possible. On an episode of Heartbreak Hotel, that's right, everyone had a TV show, and Heartbreak Hotel was Shawn Michaels' TV show with neon signs.
Not like today when no one has a TV show. Wait a minute. Everyone still has a TV show.
Do they? Why? What are they doing now?
They've got loads of talk shows, man.
Do they?
In terms of like the history of like the last
I know,
few years.
the
Kevin Owens show was a thing.
But on WWE TV now, you've got Miz TV. That's about
Miz
it.
TV, but you still got the odd Kevin Owens show. He has a little segment out,
Right. Cool. Cool. Ted DiBiase has found the real Undertaker, but Paul says it's not possible. Ted DiBiase brings out the Undertaker, so we see the Underfaker at this point. Paul Bearer tries to bring back the Undertaker, goes to a cemetery and hangs out there and says, "Oh!" If you ever hear in a cemetery and hear "Oh," it's probably not an owl. It's probably Paul Bearer somewhere.
Who's back from the dead.
Who's back from the dead? Yes, just going, "Oh, my Undertaker!"
Or you should run because it's some weirdo.
Sometimes I hang around in cemeteries just going, "Oh yes."
Yeah, I feel like
Undertaker.
I feel like if you hear that, it was some kind of weird Irish dude. Yeah, no, if you hear that anywhere,
in a cemetery in Hull.
A cemetery in Hull, or to be fair, anywhere else, you should probably leg it.
Just leg it. Well, is leg it a whole word?
I don't know, mate.
Do you have to explain what leg it means? There we go. Run. Very good. Paul Bearer tries to bring back the Undertaker, but DiBiase. So he sort of stood out the ring going, "Oh, come with me, Undertaker."
Especially if you hear that in a graveyard. "Oh, come with me in a graveyard." Like, man, like, you got to move, bolt it, just flip and go, man.
So yeah, DiBiase offers Underfaker some money.
Also, anyone offering you any money in graveyards, again, get straight out of there. Anyway,
Underfaker then chokes Paul Bearer, and the lights go out. Boom. The real Taker's back, and it's all done with sort of voiceover and lights and smoke.
Which they did over the years quite well. I was like,
they did great.
Not many people can get away with like a voiceover on an entire arena.
Yeah.
The only way did that. I think they only did that with. I mean, I can only remember them doing it with Undertaker. Maybe done it with Sting, but I don't think so.
I mean, you have sort
very
of
very rarely can a whole voice, just a voice, nothing else. Really, a voice.
New
voice.
Day.
Oh yeah, but that's different.
Yeah, but I know it's different, but it is the voice over the arena with a microphone.
In terms of atmosphere.
But the Undertaker is very unique. You can't really repeat that, can you?
Well, they tried with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that any sort of dark side character is, but yeah. What I'm saying is there's only one guy, because you're narrowing it down. But what I'm saying is that the voiceover in the arena, Big New Day, it would be one example. I'm sure there's others. Underfaker chokes Paul Bearer, and the lights go out. The real Taker's back. It's all done with lights. Blah blah blah. Undertaker says Ted DiBiase's Underfaker will rest in peace. I never refer to him as Undertaker, but I'm going to refer to him as Underfaker as much as I can to keep things simples. Underfaker. Let's talk a little bit about him.
Yeah, he got
it's his debut.
He's got a few appearances over the years.
Yeah, do you know what it is?
I feel like because they also did this with Kane, didn't they?
No, do you know who plays Underfaker?
Who plays Underfaker?
Brian Lee.
Who did?
I'm going to tell you what he's done, and we're going to see if it jogs your memory, because you will know him. He was brought in due to his similar look to The Undertaker. He started off with Jerry Jarrett in Continental Wrestling Association. Seen a lot of that since Jeff Jarrett's come in. Followed by a brief stint in WCW, and during his this run, he was also working in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, and was eventually the Smoky Mountain Wrestling champion. And in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, he also had a manager. He was the first person to be managed by Sonny, or Tammy Stitch.
Tammy Stitch,
who's coming into the WWE soon as well. After this run in the WWE, he was in ECW between 96 and 97, where he went by the nicknames Primetime Brian Lee.
Oh yeah.
Bulldozer and Killdozer.
I remember Primetime Brian. Well, I don't. Yeah,
it was a hired bodyguard for Raven.
What?
Yeah, he was a hired bodyguard for Raven. Yeah, and he ended up in a feud.
Must have missed that.
When Raven and Tommy Dreamer were going at it, he ended up feuding with Tommy Dreamer. He then returned to the WWF in 1997, where he was a member of the Disciples of Apocalypse.
The DOA, man.
Yeah, and he was. Do you know which one he was?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what was he. Chains, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to go watch that stuff. I mean, they weren't.
We're getting up to it, man.
It wasn't a monumental faction, but there was some good moments.
But there was some good factions at the time. It was all that sort of gang wars.
That was
with
about
a
to come into a big thing, wasn't it? That was a bit 96, 97.
Yeah,
a big thing,
he then joined TNA in 2002 for a year. He also reprised his role. When we talk about these wrestlers, the ones that I really enjoy talking about are the ones that are like Jeff Gaylord or like this guy, because there's some awesome stuff out there. He also reprised, because everyone knows about Jeff Hardy. You know what I mean? He also he reprised his role as the Underfaker in a Bollywood movie. I don't think that was necessarily legit, or it shouldn't have been, but he played the Underfaker. I'm surprised WWE didn't sue the heck out of Bollywood. No.
I don't know whether they paid that, but maybe they didn't pay that much attention.
No, maybe not. Here's a good fact for you. So he was once arrested on several domestic violence charges, and he told the cops that he was the Undertaker from WWE. Yeah, man. So it ended up making the news in wherever it was as well, which is a great story. Yeah, I love doing research on these guys. I know, right? He's related to Mark Calloway. He is the cousin of Mark Calloway. And he was the best man at his first wedding.
Wow, that's pretty funny.
And there's rumours that he was sleeping with his first wife.
Was this all after the...
I don't know when Undertaker's first marriage was.
I was going to say, like, blaming the Undertaker from WWE for domestic violence stuff, and then being, the best man.
Oh, right, yeah.
That'd be pretty amazing. Maybe this guy was luckier than we are.
I think Undertaker was a bit annoyed about that, probably.
Yeah, probably. Quite.
Yeah, it made the news. Can you imagine that at the wedding?
Yeah.
What was Undertaker's wedding like?
I don't know, man. I imagine if you imagine Brian Lee.
Do you give your soul? I don't know. Rubbish.
Cool. I mean, if it was an actual Undertaker character wedding, then yes. It'd be pretty bleak. It'd be a pretty bleak affair.
It's probably just bikers, wasn't it?
I think realistically, it was probably a bunch of Undertaker's biker friends.
Yeah, probably.
Mark Calloway's biker friends, and also, hopefully for entertainment purposes, Brian Lee.
Yeah,
but doubtful.
So you thought that that we was going to talk about this match and it was just going to be boring. There's some interesting stuff, man. That's cool. Let's get to the boring part. First comes out Underfaker and DiBiase before the Paul Bearer comes out. Oh no, this was actually quite good. The theatrics of it, with a coffin.
I still find it funny that I just imagine. I'm just trying to picture. Also that, but also just these cops going to his door.
I know, mate.
Oh, mate, it's all right. Look, I'm the Undertaker.
You should try it one day. See if you get away with it.
I'll just blame it on you.
Yeah.
Anthony Naylor.
Don't you know who I am?
Have you seen my beard on the Gimme All Your Wrestling podcast?
The theatrics are quite fun at the start. First, the Underfaker comes out, where DiBiase comes out before him, and then Paul Bearer comes out with a coffin, a big coffin. Undertaker's surely in it. He opens up the coffin and brings out an extra large urn. Obviously, Lawler's doing a great job of selling the sort of silliness of it. Lawler's great on commentary and stuff like this.
The silliness.
It is silly, yeah. Is that what I said?
Silliness.
Whatever.
The silliness of it.
Selling the
silliness.
Paul
got some
Bearer,
proper tongue twisters today.
I know, man. I know. I think I'm tired. Paul Bearer takes off the urn's top, and it's a giant torch that he sort of spins around with. It's great.
It's mental.
Because he was a big guy, wasn't he, Paul Bearer, and he just sort of swinging around with his head.
The power of the Undertaker is wobbling Paul Bearer about.
So he wiggles it about a bit, and then the Undertaker appears in the entrance, and so we get Undertaker walking down. This must be the longest entrance ever to Undertaker.
Even for Undertaker standards, like Undertaker takes a while. Traditionally, he takes a long time.
Yeah.
This was long by Taker standards.
It was, yeah. They both take the coat off and hat, mirroring each other in the ring while DiBiase and Paul Bearer hold it. It's a really nice work segment, I suppose, that.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I mean, he did a good job of imitating him. There was
a moment you could see a moment of staged fear on the Underfaker. There was a moment, and I think that was done well. That was like, oh wow, he's showing up. Oh dear.
Undertaker comes out with purple gloves and boots as opposed to the grey, which
that was nice.
A nice change. But it is nice, isn't it? He feels more gothic. He really does at this point. Do you know the Undertaker had he'd gone away because obviously his wife was having a baby and he was sort of nursing some injuries. He'd gone away in the Royal Rumble '94, come back. They'd got all these tattoos done for Brian Lee. And the Undertaker had got a new tattoo.
That's amazing.
Yeah, good.
What a wonderful fact.
Yeah. Can't you tell I've been listening to Bruce Pritchard's podcast?
There you go, man. Did Bruce Pritchard freak out?
Yeah, man. He did. Well, Bruce Pritchard said that he told Undertaker that his career was over because he'd got a tattoo of the Undertaker or something, the dead man or whatever it is that he'd got. He's got a tattoo of that, and Bruce Pritchard was like, "Your career's over." Because we will never be able to move on from that gimmick now. He did all right. That gimmick went on all right.
Yeah.
But he could not have done. But in the same respect, he could not have done. I mean, Undertaker did a very good job of changing with the times and then going back to it at the right times.
Yeah. Better than some people. Better than some people.
Yeah, Tatanka.
Also, I mean, Sean Waterman as well. He goes back to he, on the indies now. He wrestles the 1, 2, 3 kid.
I know. Oh, excuse me. So the mirror, the hat taking off and stuff, and then the two square up in the middle of the ring.
That's a nice moment.
It is, yeah. The Undertaker
iconic.
drags his thumb across his neck. Then we get into the match. It's super slow, man. I mean, the thing with the Undertaker is it's okay that he's slow because it's his character.
Yeah.
But then when you put him in the ring with someone that's pretending just to be as slow, it just does not work, man. And the Undertaker was quite wooden as well, I think, in his movements as well, because he was trying to be someone else.
I mean, there was some nice mimicking in terms of the like top rope arm thing, and he obviously he gets stopped from doing that, but like
he goes for the old school.
There's some really nice moments there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know how they could have done it better.
It's the whole thing of the Undertaker trying to do a move to Undertaker that he reverses, and then Undertaker gets to do it. Is the thing, and I get that
it's cheesy, but it's necessary.
Yeah, that's what it is. We've seen this. We saw it with Bret and Owen, and it worked great in WrestleMania 10. There was a lot of that in that match, but this just isn't that. Undertaker. Oh, there's a really awful spot where Undertaker jumps into the arms of Underfaker, and they both fall back against the rope, and Undertaker oversells it. Really, really poor. McMahon proclaims the crowd are silent because they are stunned. That was a lie, wasn't it? They were silent because it was A, boring, and B, it would have been hard, I think, if he was in the audience, so he even got what was going on. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a slight difference in them, but it's not that big a difference, and it was just like, so who's winning now? And I think they were bored. Underfaker managed to get a clothesline. Undertaker does his sit-up before Underfaker gives a tombstone to Undertaker.
Now, again,
I didn't understand why they did that.
Yeah, again, a nice moment. And I don't understand why he needs a couple more to be beaten down, but anyway, that's just...
Oh, no, it was the Underfaker that delivered the first tombstone to the
but then there's two following ones.
There is, yeah. Like, 3, I think.
Is it 3?
The Undertaker does,
I think he does one and then... Yeah.
And then Taker goes for the pin, and the referee Earl Ebner, I think it was Earl Ebner, not his brother, is counting the pin, and he's counting it real slow for no reason whatsoever, apart from probably that was the pace of the match. You know what I mean?
Like, okay, let's keep time.
I don't want to make it look like they were moving slowly, so I'll do the whole like I've been injured pin. Yeah, it was rubbish. Ted DiBiase runs away. Fine. Macho Man Randy Savage goes to Leslie and George, who find the coffin. They open it, no one's there, and they find a case, and the case is closed, and so the case is closed. Everyone was funny as the first skit. The first skit was really funny, the rest I didn't really get.
It was a weird time for it as well.
Yeah. And it was a rubbish... It was a rubbish main event. I mean, especially considering the rest of the card was so good.
The tombstone. So obviously, real Undertaker gets a couple of tombstones in and finishes him off. Well, and it's like it's. I don't know how they could. Again, I don't know how they could have done it better. It wasn't a great match, but it was a weird story.
It was a marquee, and as a child, we was excited about it.
Yeah,
it's just
for all the criticism we're leveling at, and it does deserve it.
Yeah,
I can't.
The build-up was great.
I wouldn't be able to book it better than it was done.
I think you could have done. I don't know
what would you have done? I'm not like I'm genuinely.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
I know. I just would have maybe had more moves in the ring, more wrestling.
Yeah,
and have a little bit of a faster Taker, have them both work at a faster pace as opposed to keep the character. But again, it's the legacy of the Undertaker, and it was all this sort of stuff that built that up. So I respect it as well. Yeah. And it's interesting to go back and watch, even though it's not entertaining. Yeah. I mean, what an awesome pay-per-view! Like, and it was. I think it was really good.
This was sports entertainment at its finest for the era.
Yeah.
In terms of entertaining matches. Theatre. And it was a good, we these days we're very, you and I and most wrestling fans, or a lot of wrestling, we're not really tolerant of silliness and theatre. This was done
in a way that was
good.
But no, I like theatre. I think theatre's done different now. Braun Strowman's now the theatre, and I love that. You know, the whole sort of pulling down lighting rigs and down stuff. It's not just like a show; it's theatre. I mean, he's not actually doing a lot of that. You know, so I think there is still theatre in the WWE, and I think they do it well when they do it. I think there's a place for more theatre actually at times. Match of the night.
Blaze.
Really?
Bull.
Oh, I'm going for Owen and Bret. But I agree that was a good match.
Yep.
And the Razor and Diesel match
in terms of pure
as well.
wrestling, in terms of entertainment, Owen and Bret.
Performer of the night, I struggle with this one actually. I nearly chose Shawn Michaels even though he wasn't in the match. It was so good.
Me too. Again, there's also a case for just some Blaze, but also just on entertainment value, Neidhart and Bulldog. It's nice when they.
I'd say Owen Hart was the best of the night. I'll let you cough.
Excuse me.
I thought that especially the ending to the match was beautiful, and I thought Owen did so well.
I'm going to give in terms of over the top edge. In terms of he's definitely. I think Bret did this really well. Okay, I think he really used the cage well. The dynamic was good, and I'm not the biggest Bret Hart fan, but tonight he was my favourite performer.
How many gay stars is this getting, Dom?
3.
I wrote 3.5, but I think I'm going to give it 3.5. It was really good.
3.
It was really good.
Good.
Really enjoyed it.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for watching. Please join us on Facebook, and we'll be doing more live streams across there.
If you've noticed our wonderful Gimme a Hug Yeah Wrestling mugs that we were drinking tea, however you can get them, you can find them on Patreon or you can find them on Redbubble. Basically, just follow our links and you will be able to find our merch, which we have lovingly crafted for you. T-shirt. Well, we had a design. We had an amazing designer, Andrew Jones, who is a watcher of the podcast. Thank you. Do these wonderful logos for us, and we appreciate that, and we appreciate you. If you'd like to support us, please do. That'd be wonderful.
And send them some questions. We didn't have any questions.
Also, comments. I have a question for you.
Oh, go on.
Given that it's the end of the Macho Man's run, and you are such a macho fan,
I never was in the past, but now.
But it made me think of a question to ask you, and it's not really macho related as such. But given from this era and from this time, as we're marking such a drastic change in the next few years, what wrestler do you think you'd have most fitted? If you could have fit into the body and the skin of any wrestler from this time,
Mabel, easy.
Which would you? Realistically, who would you have been?
Probably Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Why? Who would you have?
Befitting of your like how you would like to be as a wrestler and your personality.
Oh, now I don't know what the question is.
Well, in terms
who do I want to sleep with?
No, you muppet. Who is the wrestler? You know, is it Macho Man, for example? The wrestler that you think your body weight, your dynamic, your attitude, your personality. Who do you think you share the most with?
Bam Bam, because he's the only guy that's sort of bigger, but still awesome. And I'm still awesome. Why? Who would you?
I don't think you're that tough.
Don't you? Go on. Who do you?
Who would I pick you as? I would put you as. Trying to think realistically. More like an Adam Bomb.
Adam Bomb, baby.
Maybe like an Adam Bomb. You could have been. You know.
Cool. Great question. Who would you be?
Realistically,
Renee Young.
Probably Dink.
And on that note, it's sign us out.
Thanks, guys.
It's so true. Keep it gay.